everyone, and welcome back to Chaos Creations. Well, it's very hot here at the moment. I think it's just tipped 40. That's 105, 106 for my American friends. And I've got a new cloth up on my curtain cloth, so it'll block out a lot of the light and hopefully a lot of the heat. While I do like the heat because it means paint and glue dry quicker, I was literally dripping in sweat and have to leave the room every 20 minutes or so just so I get some fresh air, get some liquids into me. Otherwise, I was just going to fall over. So I want to quickly, first of all, talk about the little forest I was doing. Initially thought about just putting some trees onto these wooden circle things. I've got hundreds of these from a previous project, and then gluing some on there and a bit of sand and such. And I thought that would be nice, but that's so 20 years ago. So I've got some old bases that I've 3D printed up. This one has some, I'm not too sure if you can tell, but it has some chaos symbols on them and so forth. And it's got some nice rocky outcrops. And I got a couple of those, so I can put them across the battlefield and just say between here and here is forest, or we can just put a bit of green cord down or something and say forest. I also have some of these older resin prints from a client that didn't turn up. And it's got very basic, it's got like a bit of wood in there as well and a couple of rocks and such. So I've super glued them to the base and then put a bit of green stuff around it just for extra reinforcement. And I've left the middle open. That way, you know, if you've got like a wizard or something that's moving through or a small unit, they can just park themselves right there and be quite handy. And also it looks for a nice little effect. You know, we are in the forest. You cannot see us. Or can you? Woo. And as you can tell, I've got a couple of these. I've got 3 of these in total. And so what I'll do is I'll just do them all, paint them up, do their bases and so forth, and away we go. Now, you hopefully have seen some of my new skeletons. They're looking pretty good. The snakes and so forth will be painted. They won't be done until the entire miniature is done, and then I may touch up the base if I've made any messes, and I'll just do the snake. And then, of course, paint the base. After these, I'm out of plastic skeletons, and then I'll start working on some of the metal ones that I have, once again on 25 by 25 bases. But they have that little slot at the bottom, so that's going to have to be clipped off, and it's going to be a lot slower going. But it'll be worth it. And the reason why I'm doing it on these bases is because they're thick and they're solid PLA+. So it's going to be able to support a heavy model, whereas some of the other bases like that, I don't know if it would be able to support it as much. It's a little flimsy, the 25 by 25 version. But I want to talk to you today about something that I'm guilty of as well, and that is loyalty to Games Workshop. And I've said many times, well, I'll buy the models because I want to support the company. No, I was wrong. I am so sorry I even said that. Realistically speaking, loyalty is a two-way street. If GW are going to be loyal to us, then I would be loyal to them. But from what I understand, let's say, for example, Tomb Kings, we will get the dragon, and I'm guessing Cetra, and maybe one character model on something. Maybe a zombie horse or a skeleton horse or something. And that's going to be it. Maybe there might be a couple of extras, but rank and file are all going to be the same miniatures we had 20 years ago, but the price will be jumped up by 30%. Let's face it, we're not stupid. So, we're going to see maybe one rank and file group for undead if we're really, really lucky. I mean, they bought one up for Bretonians. It's possible there might be one for the undead as well. But apart from that, it's all going to be the same stuff rehashed with a higher price. So how are they being loyal to us, the customer? They're not. They're not being loyal in the fact that they didn't say, oh, we're going to bring out the old world again because, we really feel for the customers and so forth. We are so sorry we took it away. Please forgive us and we'll bring it back. No, they're not doing that. They're doing it for money. And that's fine. They're a company. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make money. I owned a company for a while there. And yes, it is about making profits, but also for me, it was about helping people out. And that is one thing Games Workshop aren't doing. They're not helping you out. They're lining their own pockets at the same time. So if possible, and I know I am, I'm going to be buying skeletons off eBay, off Etsy, from Craigslist, from Facebook groups and so forth, and then filling up my army as much as I can possible. And then when they come out, sure, if they've got new units, buy them. Not a problem. That way I'll support, not a problem, because it's stuff I don't have. But I'd be damned if I'm going to go off and buy a unit of skeletons that would normally cost me $50, and they now want to charge me $90. How is that being loyal to the customer? It's not. It's, if anything, it's just bending them over and taking, whatever's in their pockets. And it does annoy me. And it has for a while, and I've ummed and erred about it. And I thought, well, I got to let people know that I'm wrong, and they really need to go out there and look for themselves. I mean, don't get me wrong, if they bring out, I have mostly undead, and I have some chaos. I think I have some demons from the Wrath of Heavens or Wrath of War or whatever the Games Workshop game came out a couple of years ago with like Slanesh and Khorne. And I've got some old metal, the Plague Bearers, and I've got a whole lot of pink and blue horrors, metal ones, of course, somewhere as well. But if they said, oh, look, we're going to bring out Skaven, I don't have any Skaven. So I would try to, once again, buy it off other places. And then if not, I would buy their miniatures. Now, if you're coming completely green into the game and you've never played Warhammer before, and that would be people like the Total War players that I'm sure we're going to get a lot of, then the best thing to do is, once again, like I said, Facebook groups, eBay, and, if you really need to, 3D print them. Don't get me wrong. I can't resin print anymore. If I could resin print, I would be printing out undead to the wazoo. I would have no problems. Skeletons galore. But I'm not resin printing anymore, and that's my bed, and I have to sleep in it. But, 3D print and get them cheap, because Games Workshop will try to rip you off, especially if you're in Australia. And I don't mean to be mean to Games Workshop. Hi guys, how are you? If you're listening, which you won't, because I'm such a small little person in a very big pool of YouTubers. But if I was able to speak to them, I would just say, look, you want people to play this game and you want us to buy it en masse, keep the price low. It's the only way it's going to work. And look, it's not like they're retooling and getting brand new miniatures out there, and, they're doing it in a new plastic and so forth. And look, I would love you to redo these skeletons, because that join from the waist to the torso is a pain in the ass. It really is. Oh, the amount of times it's just like torso flip, and I'm like, that's why I now put the powder on, because it means they're a lot more sturdier. And I've been in the middle of games, and all of a sudden half my skeletons lose, their top half. Or once again, it's called the skeleton blues. If they retooled it and they came out with, let's say, very similar to this, but new and improved, huzzah, not a problem. But I don't think we're going to get that. So I've had a bit of a rant, and I am very sorry about that, but it has to be said. We owe no allegiance to Games Workshop. I will buy the rule book. I will buy the army books. I will buy army books for races I'm not going to play, because I want to know the lore, I want to understand the strategies, and it's almost like a little cheating method, because I can go, all right, I'm going up against Chaos tomorrow. Let's look at the Chaos book and see where their weaknesses lie. Okay, not very good with flyers, I see. Fine, no worries, and I'll bring in lots of carrion. So in that respect, yes, but I don't want people to keep saying, oh, we've got to, buy from Games Workshop out of some sort of sheer fanaticism. If you can get a bargain somewhere else, do it. And 3D printing for a lot of people is a great avenue. I've 3D printed the shields for these skeletons, and that's great. I have tried to 3D print skeletons, and I have failed miserably, because PLA does. I can bend the laws of physics in some respects with my PLA printer, but even I have limitations. So it is what it is, unfortunately. Okay, well, it's very, very hot. My throat is a bit dry and I'm going to go off and have a drink of water. If you have any questions, please ask. If you have the time, could you please subscribe if you can. I am a small channel. I've only recently gotten to 500. Once again, thank you. Oh my God, thank you everyone that has put in and subscribed. And, you know, it would be a lovely dream if I could get to 1,000. But I think I have to up my game with my content before I will get there. But anyway, everyone have a nice day. If you're in Perth, Western Australia, I know that I have a couple of Perth people here. I hope you're staying cool in this very hot day. I will do some painting of these. I'm going to undercoat the skeletons today, maybe undercoat this and the rest. I still have a handful of terrain left, so I might try to find some other, you know, ovals or some round ones just to stick a few on, because let's face it, I mean, I got a lot of 3D printed bases. I might as well put them to good use, and most of them are round. Where am I going to use round bases from now on? I got no use for them, really. Everyone have a great day. This is Chaos signing off. Be well, be safe, and love life. Bye-bye.